Ever encountered something unexplainable? Picture this. It's 2 in the morning and you're driving home alone. The night is young, yet eerily quiet in the quaint town of Bigo, nestled in the north of Guam. The party at your friend's place was lively, but the drive home is a different story. The hum of the engine is your only company, and the road ahead is a seemingly endless stretch of darkness. Your eyes are heavy with sleep, each blink lasting a fraction longer than the last. To keep yourself awake, you decide to turn on the car recorder, the monotonous drone of its mechanism, a peculiar comfort in the solitude. You push down on the accelerator, the speedometer needle edging past the legal limit. But you're alone on these roads tonight, so who's to say? And then, out of nowhere, she appears. A little girl, standing on the side of the road. Her presence is as startling as it is inexplicable. What could a child be doing out here in the dead of night, miles away from civilization? Your heart pounds against your ribcage, each beat echoing your rising panic. The headlights illuminate her figure, casting a long, eerie shadow on the asphalt. You slow down, your foot hesitating over the brake. The girl's eyes meet yours, and you feel a chill run down your spine. But you can't just leave her out here, can you? As you contemplate reversing, something makes you glance at your rearview mirror. What you see sends a jolt of terror coursing through your veins. The girl's face is pressed against the back glass of your car. You rub your eyes, praying it's a trick of the light or a figment of your imagination. But when you look again, she's still there, her eyes boring into yours through the mirror. As I slowed down, I felt a presence beside me. Turning to the back mirror, I saw the girl's face pressed against the back glass of the car. And that's when I knew this was no ordinary drive home. The sight in the mirror was terrifying and unexpected. My heart pounded in my chest like a war drum, and a cold sweat broke out across my body. I blinked rapidly, trying to dispel the image of the girl, her face pressed against the back window of the car. But when I dared to glance in the mirror again, there was nothing. The road behind me was dark and empty, as if she had never been there at all. A shiver ran down my spine, a strange feeling that lingered and made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. Despite the absence of the girl in the mirror, the weight of her gaze seemed to persist. It felt as though a pair of eyes were still watching me from the shadowy roadside. The eerie silence of the night was punctuated only by the low hum of the car engine and the steady rhythm of my quickening breath. In a state of disbelief and fear, I pressed my foot down on the accelerator. The car surged forward, cutting a path through the darkness. I was driving faster now, too fast. The speedometer needle climbed higher, pushing past the legal limit, but all I could think about was getting home, escaping this strange and terrifying night. My thoughts raced, tumbling over each other in a whirlwind of confusion and dread. I hoped against hope that the police wouldn't pull me over. A speeding ticket was the last thing I needed right now. But the strange feeling persisted, a constant reminder of the girl and the inexplicable events of the night. Just as my home neared, relief washing over me, the strangest feeling gripped me again. It was stronger this time, more potent. I could almost taste the fear in the air, could almost hear the echo of her laughter. The night was not yet done with me, and I knew in the pit of my stomach that the true horror was only beginning. As I pulled into the driveway, I saw her again. The little girl was sitting on the sidewalk, smiling at me. The shock of seeing her again was like a jolt of electricity, a cold shiver that traveled down my spine and left me trembling. The world around me seemed to slow down, and for a moment it was just me and her in this eerie silence. Without warning, my hand slipped, my foot pressed down hard on the accelerator, and the car lurched forward, careening into a tree. The impact was jarring, and I felt my body being thrown from the car, my screams echoing into the night. The light in our house flicked on, and soon the quiet neighborhood was filled with the sound of hurried footsteps and hushed whispers. My parents, alarmed by the commotion, rushed out, their faces a mixture of concern and confusion. Neighbors, drawn by the cacophony, trickled out of their homes, their faces mirroring the same bewilderment. I tried to explain, to articulate the terror of what I had seen, but the words stumbled out in a jumbled mess. I saw disbelief etched on their faces, and a sense of humiliation washed over me. My father's voice, laced with disappointment, echoed in my ears. He blamed me for the spectacle, the damaged car, and the disruption of the peaceful night. Yet despite their skepticism, I knew what I had seen. It wasn't a trick of the light or a figment of my imagination. I had seen a ghost, a specter of a little girl lost in time, and I needed to prove it, not just to them, but to myself. A few days later, my curiosity led me to the very spot where I first saw her. Hidden beneath the grass was a small, weathered cross. The chilling realization dawned on me then. She was real. The girl was real, and she was reaching out to me from beyond the grave. It was an unsettling discovery, one that would forever change how I viewed that lonely stretch of road. Beneath the grass, I found a small cross, a chilling reminder of a life cut short, a life that perhaps had unfinished business. The cross was old and worn, seemingly forgotten by time. As I traced the faded engravings, a realization dawned upon me. The girl I saw, the girl who had given me the scare of my life, was no ordinary girl. Her tragic story unfolded in my mind. A car accident years ago had claimed her life and her family's right at this very spot. A sense of dread washed over me as I considered the possibility. Could it have been her spirit I saw that night? Was she trying to hitch a ride, to perhaps find closure or simply a way home? I'll never forget that night. And now, whenever I drive home late, I make sure I'm not alone, because sometimes the most haunting truths are the ones we can't see. Have you ever experienced something unexplainable? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? The rush of adrenaline, the icy fingers of fear crawling up your spine, the eerie silence that follows, leaving you with nothing but your racing thoughts. Stories like this make us question the world around us, and sometimes they bring us together. We're all drawn to the unknown, the unexplainable, the mysterious. It's a human trait, a curiosity that's as old as time itself. So, why not share your own eerie experiences? Let's create a community where we can share, discuss, and maybe even find explanations for these unexplainable encounters. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. It's your way of saying, hey, I like this content, keep it coming. And if you want to be the first to know about future stories, sharing this video is the best way to spread the word. Remember, you're never truly alone, especially on a late-night drive.